Yo guys, we have a crazy episode today. You might know something different. Look at this, watch. See? This is the only episode where it isn't nighttime and I have to use a light so you can see me. Now we have natural light. This is probably going to be the only other time though, so. I watched a lot of movies this month. It's way more than any other month, so this video is probably going to be the longest. I don't know if I'm going to watch any more movies next month in May, but we'll just see what happens. I just like watching movies, so let's get into the first movie. Oh shit. First movie I watched this month. Actually, hold on. Do you guys like my MC Ride t-shirt? Hope you said yes. First movie that I watched, it was the Harry Hill movie. It is the greatest movie of all time. Everyone knows this. Every scholar, critic, philosopher can agree that Harry Hill movie is the greatest thing. Oh, thing, not movie. Thing ever created. God obviously touched this movie like he touched me. Oh I don't even know what to tell you. Like, the plot is so amazing. Like, Harry Hill's such an intellect. Like, he has all these ideas. Like, he has this talking hamster that he can't hear, but the hamster's dying, so they're gonna go to Blackpool to give him his last few days of life. But then there's these people coming after him because the people are actually in control by Harry Hill's evil twin brother who looks nothing like him. How crazy of a movie idea is that? It's so good! Now, to be honest, I don't know what Harry Hill was thinking when he made this movie. Obviously, money, right? Not really much I can say about the movie. I did see it with Andy and George. No, shit, I didn't see it with George. I saw it with NN, the producer. I give this movie 5 stars. Next movie I watched was a film called In Bruges, and it's pretty much about these assassins who accidentally do a job wrong, so they have to go to Bruges. They're in Bruges, pretty much laying low, and one of them thinks that, like, Bruges is a very boring place. Now, this film was pretty much made by the same people who made The Banshees of Inisherin, which is another amazing movie. I don't think In Bruges is as good as The Banshees of Inisherin. Like, they definitely made a better movie, like, later on. And it stars Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, and it's amazing. It's pretty much kind of the same movie, obviously one set in a different time period, but there's like the same dynamic between the two main characters, Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell. I do really like the acting. I like the cinematography as well. Also, the dark comedy in it is very nice. I was very surprised by the plot. I didn't even really know what the plot was when I was gonna go watch it. I just knew it starred Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll give it a go. I like Banshees of Inisherin, so why not? Excuse me. I don't really want to say more about this movie because, like, you kind of have to watch it yourself. It's very entertaining, especially Colin Farrell. He's probably like the best character in the whole movie. You do have to watch it for yourself. There's a lot of crazy shit that happens in it, but it is a bit boring, like, at some parts. So I give it 4 stars. Oh, you fucking cunt! Next movie we're watching is Yesterday. Yesterday is pretty much just about some Indian guy who likes to play music and he's a big fan of the Beatles, and then he gets sent to another universe where the Beatles never existed, so he has to recreate all the Beatles songs, which is a very interesting idea, even though Paul McCartney didn't think the idea was interesting. Like, I remember reading an article of Paul McCartney talking about the movie. He said he thought the idea was shit, but he didn't want to tell the director that, so he just said, yeah, go ahead, make the movie, see if it's good. Now, it's not a bad film, it's just a very okay film. Like, I feel like there could have been better moments. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a bit cringe. Now, if you do know me, you would know I'm a very, very, very big fan of the Beatles. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. So it was very fun for me to watch this movie and see all the songs played, and see what the world would look like if there were no Beatles. The main character wanting to sleep with the woman who's like his manager, but he's too pussy to talk to her, and then like kind of turns her down for the music, which upsets her. Like, how could you turn down a woman like that, bro? She's so hot. What the fuck? Verdict: fuck a woman instead of making Beatles music. 3.5. The next movie that we have is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I think the animation, it's the best part of the movie. Like, they went above and beyond with the animation. Like, oh my god. There's like one scene where there's like this big mystery like block coming out of water, and you can see all the water coming off of it and like all the water effects. Oh my god, I thought it looked so good. That mesmerized me, that scene. This film is like, all overall look is amazing. They wasted no time with the animation at all. Now, one thing that everyone wants to know about the movie is the actors. Like, we all saw the trailer, or the announcement for the movie, back when it came out, and they announced that Chris Pratt and, like, Jack Black and shit were going to be playing characters in the movie, and everyone laughed their asses off at that fact. Everyone thought that Chris Pratt was going to be really shit, but I think he was more or less alright. Like, I think it would have been cringe if he had just stuck to the, oh, let's go, woohoo, you know, that kind of Mario voice. I think it would have been cringe if he just did that the whole time. He does it at the start of the movie, but, like, for an advert, and then the rest of the movie, it's just him with a Brooklyn accent, which does fit it because Mario is from Brooklyn. Charlie Day as Luigi. I think Charlie Day does a very good job of playing Luigi. And also, another one of my favorite ones, the top tier acting itself, the one that'll be taught in acting schools, Jack Black as Bowser. He is honestly amazing. He's the perfect pick for Bowser. Even looks like him in real life with the beard. Jack Black, he's just perfect in every movie he comes in. Like, how are you gonna complain about Jack Black being in a movie? Now, I did play some of the Mario games, especially the ones on 3DS, but like, I'm not the biggest Nintendo fan, so I don't know every single reference, but I did get a few of them. I did play a lot of the Mario 64 and the 3DS games for Mario, which were very fun, especially back in the day. I don't know if they'd be fun now, they're probably shit now. And then another thing about the movie as well, the soundtrack. For some reason, they just kept putting in 80s music, which I thought was a bit confusing. Obviously, the Mario games came out in the 80s, but like, there's so many unnecessary amounts of 80s music in it. It's just weird. It's cringy kind of. Or at least, that's like the one thing I noticed in the movie. It's besides the animation. I give this film 3.5 stars. Next film we have is Nobody, and this one's a really surprising film because it took me a while to watch it. I don't know why I didn't watch it, and it's very good. It's like one of the best films that Bob Odenkirk's been in, which is very surprising as well. You wouldn't picture a guy like Bob Odenkirk to play that kind of character, but he fits him really well. It's like, if you don't know what it's about, it's pretty much just Bob Odenkirk. He plays his like everyday father. He goes to work, but then his house gets robbed, and then he believes that the robbers stole like his daughter's Hello Kitty bracelet, so he tracks the robbers down, and then finds out, oh no, the bracelet's not here, let's go back home on the bus. And then he ends up beating up these people who are like in the Russian mafia, and then ends up being enemies with the Russian mafia. But then like, it reveals later in the movie that he's like some secret agent and shit, and then he's trying to quit to get a normal life, but now he has to go back into the job. Well, he's more like, he's not going back with the government, he's just like doing it for himself. This movie is very entertaining, even though it's very short as well. I was very surprised that this movie's only an hour and 30 minutes. I would love if this movie was a bit longer, but yeah, whatever. It's still good anyway. Like, it's amazing. Now, if I could summarize it in just a few words, I would say John Wick, but if John Wick got beat up a lot during his fight scenes, or at least got beat up more than usual. It feels like a very realistic John Wick film. Even though the movie isn't always realistic, it feels like a realistic John Wick film. I give it 4 stars. The next movie we have is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and it's not good, guys. Marvel has truly fallen from grace. You ever hear back in the day when Martin Scorsese was like, all those Marvel and superhero movies are really shitty and they're not real cinema? I didn't believe him back in the day just because I like the dumb action movies, but now that I've watched all the the artsy kind of movies, I feel like I'm falling in more of the Martin Scorsese side. I think I agree with him now. Marvel truly has fallen from grace. It is not the same as it used to be. The CGI in this movie, terrible. I hated it. There's one scene where there's like multiple Ant-Men climbing on top of each other. I don't even really know. And then one of the Ant-Men, who's just dressed as Paul Rudd in like some ice cream suit or some shit, I don't even fucking know. And when he's crawling up, you can see it. Oh my god, the CGI was so bad. Like, it's burned into my brain. Like, how did that get approved? Also, I want to talk about MODOK as well. They didn't have to make This is one of those, like, everyone's gonna complain about like the comic book accuracy, but I think MODOK was perfectly acceptable to not be comic book accurate. You could have at least, when he had the mask on, it was perfectly fine, but when he took the mask off, it just looked so cringy. It looked terrible. If they'd just done it, that he was just a normal person, like if Darren Cross was just normal inside that suit, it would have been perfectly fine. But no, they just had to make it comic book accurate. Like, how can you look at that and think it looks good? Like, I saw a funny meme where someone put the character of the whale, like from the movie The Whale, and they put it on him, and it looks better. What the fuck? Anyways, I keep complaining about the movie. There's one thing I do like about the movie. It is Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, which I think he does a really good job in. But even that doesn't do well because every single Marvel movie that I've been talking about recently, the more recent was like Thor: Love and Thunder, it's always just been the movie is shit, but the bad guy is amazing. That shouldn't be it. It should be good movie, good bad guy, good everything, but no. I was actually really excited for that movie as well. I thought it was going to be good. I thought the trailers made it look awesome. I really hope Guardians of the Galaxy isn't shit. So I give it 2 stars. Next movie was Arthur and the Invisibles. Yeah, I know you probably haven't heard of it either, but it was a movie I watched when I was a kid, and I decided to rewatch it after I got reminded of it. And this movie doesn't feel the same. Like, it feels like a completely different movie as well, because I didn't realize all the actors that were in it who played all the characters. Pretty much most of them were musicians. Hold on, I want to get the list up really quick. I need to read this for you guys out loud. So, the actors who surprised me that were in this movie, right? Madonna, Jimmy Fallon, David Bowie, Robert De Niro, and Snoop Dogg. I had no idea they were in the movie when I first watched it, mainly because I didn't know who they were. But that's crazy going back and then realizing that they're in the movie. There's this weird sexualization of the main female character for some reason, even though this is a kid's movie. There's like a bit where like the main character, Arthur, takes out the string in her fucking bra or blouse or something. And then she's like has to cover up with their hands. And it's obviously, they obviously put too much detail into her ass. Character's played by Madonna, but you don't need to make her actually Madonna. Come on, it's a kid's movie. There's even a bit where Arthur stares at her ass when she gets into a car. Like, come on, you can't... I don't know how I didn't notice that back then. Maybe I was just some dumbass kid who just watched movies for the fun of it. I give this movie 2 stars. The next film I watched was a film that Andy forced me to watch, and he also forced NN as well. It's called Life is Beautiful. This is the consequence of owning a Jewish horse, guys! Jesus! When Andy was forcing me to watch this movie, he didn't tell me shit. He didn't say anything other than that it was an Italian movie, and it looks old. Even though it was made in the 90s, it looks like it was made in the 60s or 70s. And that's pretty much all he told me. And then going like, it looks like it's a nice love story at the start. Oh my god, he's trying to get this girl, and then like later he gets the girl, and then you realize that it's actually a Holocaust movie. I was very shocked on that as well. The scene where they get on the train, I was like, nah, this can't be a Holocaust movie. And then when they get to the fucking like the beds, and then they start putting on the like striped pajamas, I was like, fuck, this movie's gonna be depressing, shit. But it is, this film is amazing. I think it might go up there with my top 30 favorite movies now. Thank you, Andy, for making me depressed while watching it, and also give me a favorite movie. Thank you. I love you, bro. I don't think the acting was off the charts or anything, except for the main character himself. I forgot who actually plays him, but he does the best job in the whole movie. He's like honestly the greatest character in cinema ever, in my opinion, even though I forgot his name. How terrible am I? I could probably tell you more reasons why this film is shit as well, but it's so like amazing because of the plot and how well it's written that it's just, it brings it up to the 5 stars. Like, the cinematography isn't that great with this, except for a few shots. I mean, again, it's just an Italian movie that was made in the 90s. They didn't have like the whole technological thing for movies like America had. So obviously the film doesn't work around there, but I still think it is an amazing movie, so I give it 5 stars. The very last movie I watched this month was Evil Dead Rise. I saw this in the cinema by myself because everyone I know was too pussy to go watch it with me. I thought it was really good. Like, this is a very solid horror movie. I think most horror movies nowadays are really shit, but this was actually a really solid movie. I don't think that most Evil Dead movies miss. There's obviously a lot of enjoyment to all of the Evil Dead movies, even the 2013 one, but yeah, this film was really good. I thought the gore was out very like Evil Dead. Like, this film was very inspired by Evil Dead 2. Even though it doesn't have Ash in it, there's still really good characters. I thought the mom was absolutely terrifying. She's honestly like the most terrifying part about the movie. And I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but one of my favorite parts, because it's so ridiculous, is like the mother, she bites out a person's eye and then she spits it into another person's mouth, and then they choke on the eye and die. I think that was absolutely crazy. I don't want to say anything else about the movie as well, but there's a bit where there is a cheese grater. They're actually promoting the idea of the cheese grater outside the movie as well, but it only happens for like a few seconds. It's like they hyped that up a lot, like it was a big scene in the movie, like, oh my god, he's about to get tortured by a fucking cheese grater, but it only happens for a few seconds. Like, it's kind of weird. It is very brutal to watch as well. Now, one thing that I did not like about the movie was the ending. I think the ending was very like They just fast forward onto that. They now have this like Resident Evil monster, but it feels weaker, if you know what I mean. Like, it's kind of really shitty because the monster looks really good. Like, there's like 3 people mashed into one. It looks honestly terrifying, but it doesn't do shit. It like, if it would be more of a threat if it like was throwing over cars and shit and like breaking the wall, but it doesn't really do that. All it does is like take a little girl and then die to a fucking chainsaw. Spoiler alert, by the way. I give it 4 stars. So yeah, that was my monthly movie review. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you in May, or at the end of May actually. Fuck! Suck that shit. Suck that shit.